Hi all, I'm Dr. Trisha Peach, host of the Kidmin.Ninja, and you might notice I'm not in any of my usual filming locations. I am actually very far north right now, 30 miles from the Canadian border. I am at Assembly Park Camp. I wanted to ask the question, should we still be sending kids to Bible camp in the summer? I've heard so many arguments on this among children's pastors and youth leaders. Should we still be sending them away to Bible camp? And if not, what should be the replacement? Now, to be honest, I am very biased. I'm obviously at a Bible camp right now. I'm the program manager this week for the services. I love this camp. This one is very special to me. It was quite a drive to get here, but my sister and I are working here together, and this camp is special to me. My mom and dad administrated the camp, directed it for like 9 years, 86 to 95, something like that. And my sister and I and my brother, we would be up here pretty much all summer and having a great time. We did have to clean the bathrooms, get dead mice out of the cabins, that kind of thing. But this camp is so special to me because down at the lake here that I paddled out there in a kayak yesterday, that's where I was water baptized. The chapel right here, see if you guys can see it, the brand new chapel, that is where I first felt called to be a children's ministry leader. When I was 8 years old, guys, and that was, oh my goodness, 39 years ago. Yeah, it's been a long week, tired. 39 years ago, right over there. Now that's the new chapel. The old one got flattened under the snow. The new one is beautiful. Great job, Amber Erickson, on your design. But this is where that happened. This is the camp I walked around dreaming of being in kids ministry someday, where I met so many awesome kids pastors. And I dreamed about writing a book. I dreamed about, someday I want to write a book that helps children's ministry leaders someday. And I dreamed about that here. I talked to God about that a lot here. And I brought it up with me today. So I dreamed about it from 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 years old here. And here it is. To me, it was important to bring the reality to the place I was dreaming about it. And I would also challenge you, if you have a child around you that starts to share their dream to be a missionary or write a book, or I would not dismiss that at all. I would never say, oh, that's going to be really difficult, because you never know. I wanted that to be my reality, and it ended up coming true, which is amazing. That's my camper behind me. Drove up here with my camper, and I am having the time of my life. It is super fun. So why would anyone not want to do Bible camp? Why wouldn't they want to send their kids to Bible camp? Well, these are the arguments I hear. A, that it's gotten way too expensive. It has gotten incredibly expensive. The majority of that issue is the liability insurance. Liability insurance has skyrocketed mainly because of so many lawsuits against camps with injuries. That is a major issue. The liability insurance makes it very high price sometimes for a kid to go for a week of camp. A lot of parents say, how can I afford that? I would press back on that and say, if you're going to spend $550 each season on soccer, $550 each season on t-ball, you can invest less than that on a week of camp on your child's spiritual life, spiritual future. The chances, I'm from Wisconsin, and the chances of your child playing for the Packers someday is minuscule. The chance that your child will grow spiritually, they're going to hopefully be walking with God the rest of their lives. That's super, super important that you invest money time, whatever you have to into kids' lives for their spiritual well-being. So you've got the cost is a big reason. 2, the liabilities. Some camps have chosen not to stay open. They've shut down because of threat of lawsuits or fear of lawsuits. I love the fact that some camps are staying open because they believe the ministry there is worth it. So the liability is a big reason. They'll say, why even take a chance? Never have kids stay overnight anywhere. I think that's sad because I know some Girl Scouts are not doing that, or Boy Scouts. Some troops are not having kids stay overnight. I love it out here. It is so peaceful. It is so beautiful. Canoeing, kayaking, fishing, swimming. That is where I really grew up. It's still important for kids to get out into nature. And I think, too, to even stand on their own sometimes. So, yeah, cost, liability. The third reason I hear a lot is, well, it's all just emotionalism. It's all just emotionalism, and none of it sticks when they come home. Well, I know that is completely incorrect because, yes, emotions were always really high when we were here at camp, but the changes God made in my life around the altars did stick. This is where I grew spiritually, and it did not go away when I went home. I changed. I was different. My friends, same thing. It was not just emotional hype at camp. We made leaps in our spiritual walk and in our maturity that didn't go away when we went home. The other thing I would say is, if your faith doesn't touch your emotions ever, I question the reality of it, because we're supposed to love the Lord your God with all your heart, soul, mind, and strength. So heart and soul, that means your emotions. You're supposed to love the Lord your God with all. And I think we either go one of two ways, where we will say kids need to know head knowledge of God and scripture, or they should go all experience and not head knowledge. We need a balance. They need head knowledge of scripture and experience, both. Camp is a great place to get that experience. Okay, so those are the key ones I hear against camp. The other one I hear from parents is no time, and that's typically because they have soccer camp and all these other camps. I say, what priority is your child's spiritual walk? Right now, 4 out of 5 kids, when they grow up as Christians, by the time they turn 13, are not Christians anymore. And as soon as they can, they leave church life altogether. It's very bad statistics. So what are we investing in our kids to try to help them grow in their spiritual walk? I would say, again, that's a priorities issue. You might have to say, we can't do soccer camp or dance camp because we've got Bible camp that week. And that's a whole nother way to look at it. If you can do both, then do both. But if you can't do both, then don't do both. Okay? I would say there are a lot of benefits also to a Bible camp, benefits that you cannot get. That's another thing churches tell me, is we're just going to do our own Bible camp and we just won't have any of it be overnights. We will do our own Bible camp in our own church and it won't be a problem. There is something about getting with other churches, other people, that is just so great for growth. And I am a big Bible camp proponent because here we come with some of the benefits. The minute they got to camp here, they had to turn in cell phones, no tablets. These kids are wired up from the time they're, 6 months old, a year old, 2 years old. They almost can't function without a phone. And you get them away from all the distractions, the TikTok, and you get them away from all the distractions and they can focus on something new. It's great. And they make new friends. You know, we were talking about that today at lunch. Some of the cabin leaders, we were saying sometimes this generation of kids seems to have trouble making new friends because they're used to screens, just screens. And screens don't react like a human being. When you're here at camp, this is a great place to make lifelong friends. Don't believe me? Well, I made my friend Jenny here when I was 8 years old. Still stalk each other on Facebook. I messaged her hoping she was coming up to the camp today. She's not. I wish. I talked to Rebecca though. Rebecca and I went here during teen camp growing up, and we have been best friends now for over 40 years. Things change at camp. You can make lifelong friends. My niece is here for the first time this week. She's made, I don't know, 10 different friends. It is so good for their social skills to make friends, not on a screen, in real life. They've been having so much fun this entire time. I believe the experiences they have here are totally real. The goal is it will ignite a love in them for scripture, a love for learning more about God. Some of these kids haven't been going a lot to their church when they come home. What we hope is they keep going to their home church and that they'll come back next summer and we'll see them then. I've seen these kids work through some awful stuff that they're going through, and they have another human being to talk to that will listen. It's amazing what that can do for you. To get away from the distractions, away from the drama, away from the screens, and focus. And again, that's the other thing I hear all the time. Well, that's worshiping a place, and we should worship God. Okay. And then they'll say, you shouldn't have to go to a camp. That'll just happen at our local church. And so my question to them is it? Is it happening at your local church? And if not, why? Why are kids not coming to Christ or being called into the ministry or sensing the power and the presence of God or praying for people and them getting healed? If not, because I agree with you, that should happen at your church. It doesn't always. Part of it is the time crunch. When you get there on Sunday morning, a lot of churches, you have 90 minutes. That's it. Boom. And out the door. We have late night conversations about the Bible at camp. We can linger for a while at the altar. We can answer kids' questions. We're not in some big rush. Life gets to slow down and be savored. The other thing I say is, it's not about worshiping a place. It's about being set apart. And if you remember, Moses would go up on top of the mountain to be alone with God. Do we go worship that mountain? No. We worship God, but he knew he had to get away from the distractions. He had to get away with God. And I totally get that. That's why I still believe in fasting and prayer retreats. That's why I still believe in a marriage retreat when you're wanting to focus on your spouse. I believe in the power of getting away, unplugging from the screens to focus. We are so overstimulated. We have so much being thrown at us 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. I believe in unplugging. And for me, I don't worship this place, but I have so many memories of meeting with God here. To me, this was a place, it is a place still set apart for people to come meet with God. How awesome. And they come here for the express purpose of getting away with God. Jesus talked about that. Come away apart by yourselves. I always think of it as come apart with Jesus or just come apart. You're just going to come apart at the seams. Come apart with Jesus or come apart at the seams. So I am a huge proponent of camp. I love camp.
I'm looking for my dust bunny.
Okay, I hope you find your dust bunny.
Yeah.
Sorry. We have a missing dust bunny. It's an emergency. I am having a blast this week. This has just reignited it for me all over Camp Matters. Bible camp is a great idea. And yes, we have the liability, we have the expense, we have having to be away from home several nights, we're competing with sports, but it's worth it. This is an investment in your child's eternity. So I'm hoping you will make that investment. Comment down below, what problems do you see with Bible camp? 2, what are your best memories from Bible camp? I know a lot of you went to Bible camp when you were younger. What are your best memories from it? Why do you think we should or shouldn't still have Bible camp? Please comment down below. And I love all of you. Thank you for what you do for Jesus and his kids. Now let's show the snack shack and out on the ball field. I love you. I will see you next week on the Peach Buzz. I got to go do some night chapel. Woo-hoo!